How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be continuing my look at some of the Pirates of the Caribbean figures by Zizzle. We're going to be taking a look at this guy right here. It is Feng from Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Now, this is one of the more common figures by Zizzle. He's a little bit easier to track down than some of the later releases. In fact, I was actually able to acquire this boxed one right here at a thrift store for only $1.25, which is an absolute steal in my opinion. Now, if we take a quick look at the packaging, we have the Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End logo, then we have a picture of Feng himself. Then we have the Zizzle logo in the corner. The back of the box is pretty much your standard at World's End box art, but we do have some information discussing the character and some of the other figures you can get, in which I'm assuming is Wave 1. And that is pretty much it with the box. Now, since this figure is mint on card, I will unfortunately not be opening it, but no worries, I do in fact happen to have my childhood figure in hand, which has seen better days, but it's not in horrible shape. Now the thing is, with these Zizzle figures, they kinda suck with articulation, but they definitely make up for it with the amount of detail put on these figures. I mean, if we look at the head sculpt, it is about spot on to the character. This is definitely one of the better figures in the Zizzle line when it comes to likeness to the character. Obviously, there are a few scuffs here and there on the head, but overall this figure has held up pretty well after all these years, which, considering this figure came out close to 15 years ago, I think that that's pretty good. The rest of the body is also just as well detailed. Everything is sculpted pretty accurately to the film, and the amount of sculpt work and paint applied on this figure is pretty impressive, and it really just goes to show how much Zizzle cared about making good toys. This figure did in fact come with one accessory, which is this little sword right here, which is actually pretty detailed. I mean, they didn't even have to paint the gold on the handle right here. It is actually made out of this bendy pliable plastic, so overall it's a nice little accessory, and it fits in his hand pretty nicely. Articulation-wise, this figure isn't the best. You can move the head and you can move the arms, which the left arm does have a tendency to pop off pretty easily when you try to move it, which is pretty annoying. And lastly, the waist and the legs can move, but the robes do limit the posability a little bit on the legs, which at least the robes are made out of a rubbery material. And that is pretty much it. Overall, I really like this figure. Articulation could be better, but I definitely think the added detail makes up for it. I have a lot of nostalgic memories playing with this guy, and he is one of my most favorite Pirates of the Caribbean characters. Now, if you're wanting to pick up one of these figures, I recommend checking out eBay, as you can usually find him in a pretty reasonable price range of around $10 to $20. And there is in fact even a second version of this figure around the same price, that comes in one of the Battle Pack sets, which I do not have, unfortunately, so you definitely have a selection. Overall, I'd give this figure a go, 7 out of 10.